Are you controlling your money? Or is your money controlling you? If you can't answer that question immediately, you're already a slave to money. Let me ask you just one thing. If you suddenly couldn't work for the next 6 months, would you survive? If the answer is no, then this video is exactly what you need, because the person sitting right next to you may already know something you don't. How to make money work like a slave. And today, you're going to learn that skill too. This is not motivational fluff. This is not work harder or think positive. This video is about real leverage, tools you can actually use in the American financial system. To build wealth, even as an ordinary employee. To make money your slave, you first need to understand the time value of money. The dollar loses value every single year. That's inflation. But here's what most people never realize. Debt also loses value over time. People are shocked when they hear this. Debt loses value? How? Because money today is worth more than the same amount 30 years from now. If inflation is 3%, 4%, 5%, then the $300,000 you repay decades later is nothing like the $300,000 you borrowed. Once you understand this, debt is no longer something to fear. It becomes a tool that works for you. But that alone is not enough. You need a place where money can work. A workplace for your dollars. That workplace is investment. Stocks, ETF, real estate, land, businesses, anything that can produce returns. Stronger than the cost of borrowing. That difference is the spread. And whoever captures the spread controls money. If you borrow at 4% and earn 6%, the 2% spread is your pure profit. And with leverage, that small spread turns into massive gains. But leverage must come last, after investment skill and the ability to consistently generate spread. Use leverage too early and you don't enslave money. Money enslaves you. Now that you understand the philosophy, let's talk about the tools. The U.S. financial system offers leverage opportunities that almost no other country in the world has. People who understand these tools and people who don't end up living completely different lives. 10 to 20 years later, the most powerful tool of all is the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. This system barely exists outside the United States. Your interest rate stays the same for 30 years. Your payment stays the same for 30 years. And the interest is tax deductible. If inflation runs at 3 to 4% and real estate rises 5 to 6% on average, you're earning a spread without doing anything. When home appreciation is higher than your interest rate, wealth builds itself. And during inflationary periods, the real burden of your mortgage melts away. But here's where the American system becomes truly powerful. When your home value rises, you don't have to sell it to unlock the wealth inside. You can tap it through a home equity line of credit, a home equity loan, or a cash-out refinance. A home equity line of credit lets you pull out cash without selling your home. If your home value has risen, you can withdraw part of that equity as cash while still keeping the property. No capital gains tax, no selling required. If you invest that cash wisely, you earn spread twice. Once from the rising property value and again from the returns your investment generates. A cash-out refinance goes even further. You replace your old mortgage with a larger brand new one and pocket the difference, tax-free. People who understand this can pull out hundreds of thousands of dollars from a single home to buy businesses, purchase rental properties, or fund other investments. In America, a home is not just shelter. It is a cash generation engine. There's another tool many employees overlook: the 401k loan. A 401k loan isn't borrowing from a bank, and you're borrowing from yourself. The interest you pay goes back into your own retirement account. There's no credit check, no impact on your credit score, and you can access up to $50,000. But one warning: this should never be used as investment leverage. If you lose your job, the repayment pressure becomes dangerous. Its safest use cases are simple: paying off high-interest credit card debt or covering short-term expenses with guaranteed payoff. Now let's talk about market-based leverage. The most accessible tools are leveraged ETF and futures contracts. Leveraged ETF like TQQQ promise 3 times returns. Beginners look at them and think, if the NASDAQ goes up 10%, I make 30%. Free leverage. But it's not free. Buried inside are costs, swap fees, derivative costs, and the compounding decay from daily rebalancing. In long sideways markets, leveraged ETF break down, and during volatility, the decay can destroy returns. Futures contracts are even more extreme. With $10,000 to $20,000 in margin, you can control $200,000 worth of index exposure. But futures prices already include interest costs. They must be rolled over, and one wrong move can wipe out your account instantly. A 5% market drop can turn into an 80% loss with high leverage. That's why leverage is not a shortcut. It is an amplifier. If you don't know what you're doing, it amplifies destruction. Many beginners rush into leveraged ETF or futures, hoping to get rich fast. The data is clear. That path leads to ruin. Leverage, used wisely, is one of the most powerful wealth tools in existence. Used poorly, it turns you into a slave. And here's one more truth. Even with leverage, if your spending is out of control, none of this matters. Before every purchase, ask yourself, will this expense bring more money back to me 1 year from now, 10 years from now, or will it disappear forever? That one question can change your financial life. Every tool we discussed today is available to ordinary American workers. You don't need to be rich to use the system -- you just need to understand it. Money naturally flows toward people who understand it. Build a workplace for your money, capture the spread, and put time on your side. When you sleep, your money will work. When you rest, your debt will shrink. And even when you do nothing, your assets will compound. This is how you make money your slave. This is not a fantasy. It is a practical system any working American can use. And the moment you understand it, your life shifts onto a completely new trajectory. Now that you know how leverage works, start learning how to invest. Master one investment field -- And once you can consistently create spread, apply leverage with discipline. Do that, and before you know it, you'll wake up wealthy.